Good evening, viewers. Welcome to this special report in commemoration of the International Labour Day, which is this month of May. We bring you a special report on the external labour or export of labour, but we are going to look at the different aspects in this very fast-growing industry of external labour or labour export. My name is Sir Simon Muyanga Lutaya. Welcome to the show. With me this evening is Mr. Andrew Tumwine Kameraho, the chairperson of the Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies, UAERA, which I'll understand from him. It's a grouping of labour export companies. Welcome, Andrew. Let's go straight to UAERA. What is it? Where does it come from? What does it do?
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. Yes, UAERA stands for Uganda Association for External Recruitment Agencies. It's a group of companies that came together to form this association. These companies are engaged in externalization of labor. We established this association way back in 2013, and then we got it registered in 2014. So we can say we've been in existence for the last 5 years. We can say 5 years. We are now in our 6th year. And the objectives, one is to unite, create a common platform so that we're able to be more effective. Because when you're united, then you are able to work together and achieve more. So that is one. And then two, we also have to deal with different stakeholders. When we go as a united front, then we're able to achieve our objectives in the pursuits of, say, protection of migrant workers.
Let's break down the externalization of labor. What do you mean when you say externalization of labor?
Externalization of labor means that you organize people who are in need of employment.
Yes.
Number one, you source employment from outside. Externalization, once it is external, then it has to do with the outside world.
Yes.
So what we do, number one, we source jobs from outside. Once we source those jobs from outside, then we organize people here, mobilize people here, workers, who are able to take up those jobs. So that we organize them, we arrange for the deployment abroad, we get them cleared through the Ministry of Labour, and then they travel and go and get employed abroad. This is as a result of the establishment of the Externalization Unit of Labour in the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. This was established way back in 2005.
When you say we source labour,
yes,
who are the we?
Who
sources the labour?
The member companies, the members of UAERA, the companies under Uganda Association for External Recruitment Agencies. These are companies that are licensed by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to externalize labour. In other words, formally take people from Uganda to work outside Uganda. So that is the we we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes. So as I was saying, the establishment of the externalization unit under the Ministry of Labour was done in 2005. So this department has been on since 2005, has been there since 2005. UAERA comes in to organize this group, these companies under one umbrella in 2013. It's a partnership.
You talk about licensed companies, yes. Yet the general feeling, the way it appears in public, is that it's like an unregulated industry, an industry where government has let loose, everyone get there, exploit our people, abuse them. It connotes to aspects of slavery, that Ugandans are being removed, get sent out of their country to go and serve some kind of slavery or servitude somewhere. But it sounds like there is regulation, which becomes a contradiction. Is this industry regulated? If so, how? By who?
Okay. Yes, the industry is regulated, strictly regulated. by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. One, the company must be registered by the Ministry of Justice, the Uganda Registration Bureau. Then this company applies to the Ministry of Labour for a license to externalize labour. So the ministry vets the individuals who are establishing this company in the first place. There's a vetting process. So company X will apply, and the Ministry of Labour will vet, together with security agencies, they will vet the individuals that are establishing this company. Finally, they get a license. In the process of even getting a license, there's a bank guarantee that is paid to the ministry, that is made in favor of the ministry, bank guarantee of Uganda shillings 50 million. Now, after going through that, then the company is licensed and can now start externalizing labor. But after that, all the processes are monitored and regulated by the Ministry of Labour. You cannot, for example, take out people who are not cleared by the Ministry of Labour. There is an elaborate...
The Ministry of Labour is government.
Yes, that's correct.
But it appears the government is not part of the thing.
No, the government regulates. The government is the main regulator.
Government?
Government, yes.
Approves
the job order. The job order.
That means they take time to find out that the jobs really exist. Where I want to send our people.
Exactly.
Oh.
And this is nowadays done online. I would like to commend government for actually improving on the processes, because now they are digitalized. There's a digitalized process where everything is done online. Therefore, the process is more effective. It is faster and more effective.
The problem of unemployment is a global problem.
Yes.
Do we have special countries that have jobs in abundance that you keep sending people? We thought other countries are also suffering the same way, that there are no jobs here. Which are those countries that have jobs, and what type of jobs are those?
Yes, there are countries that have jobs. If you take countries in the Middle East, take the example of United Arab Emirates, you may find that at any one time there are more foreigners than indigenous people, because the population density is low in a number of those countries. In fact, all around the Middle East. Take the example of Qatar. Qatar is a very rich country. The size of the economy is $300 billion, but they have 2 million people. So you find that they have the highest capacity. They have one of the highest
people.
Yeah, 2 million people. And they have the economy, size of the economy, the nominal GDP is $300 billion. So you find that the income per capita is among the highest in the world, over $150,000, per capita. So if you compare that with Uganda, we are 41 million people.
So we are 20 Qatars.
Our nominal GDP is 26 billion, and our income per capita is $600. So you find that therefore they have the need for employees. They need the people. They have the resources. The economy is growing. They need the people to go and work there.
The way you explain it, Andrew,
service the economy. They need manpower to service the economy. They have the resources, but they need the other manpower. They may have the material resources, but they need the human resource to come and service the economy.
You make this look very orderly and very organized. If the process was that organized and thorough,
yes,
how then would we see Ugandans who are suffering from these employment destinations? They say we are brought here, no jobs, we don't know where to stay, we have no help. Yet you said you verify and find out that the jobs actually exist. You have even talked about a monitoring system that you even monitor where these people go.
Yes.
You monitor where the jobs are. The jobs are placed on online when
yes.
you get a job order.
Yes.
How then would somebody get into a country and get stranded that he has nowhere to go, he has no job? If government really verified that this job exists and finds out this person goes to destination.
What Ugandans, or all of us here, should know that there is a challenge of human trafficking.
Oh.
So human trafficking is a big challenge. It's worldwide. And then we should make a distinction between human trafficking and labor externalization. The overwhelming majority of the people you hear about suffering are people who have been human trafficked. There are those who are trafficked, There are those who adventure on their own.
Trafficked.
Yes, trafficked. There are people who come here and convince people to travel. You've heard of stories, people traveling through neighboring countries. Why should somebody travel through a neighboring country when there are direct flights from here? There are a number of flights going to Dubai every day from Entebbe. Why should people travel through a neighboring country? For example, those are being trafficked. Those who go on their own do not go through the processes I'm talking about. Yes, I'll give you an example of United Arab Emirates. If anyone wants to go to United Arab Emirates today, tomorrow, they will just go to a travel agency and present their passport, pay money for a visa, and then buy a ticket and travel.
Do you want to tell me then that the people we have had suffering from the Middle East,
yes,
and claim that they went through some of these companies to get there,
yes,
I went to illegal destinations?
Yeah, I'm saying that the overwhelming majority of the people who are suffering do not go through the processes I've been talking about. The process we're talking about.
Thank you. Let's take our first commercial break. I'm with Mr. Andrew Kameraho, the chairperson of the Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies. We are talking about the challenges and dynamics in the external labor industry. Let's have a short break, and when we return, we'll look at the economics of the external labor industry. Welcome back from the short commercial break. My guest is Mr. Andrew Tumwine Kameraho, the chairperson of the Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies, and I'm Simon Muyangota, your host. We are looking at externalization of labor in our country. I did say that this is one of the fastest growing industries today, but too much marred into negative publicity. From Mr. Andrew Kameraho's explanation, it would sound like it's a lucrative industry, one that would support, but the publicity around it makes you feel like it's some kind of third world slavery, a new era of slavery that we are going into. Andrew, why the Middle East? I would like to work in Europe, I'd like to work in America, I'd like to work elsewhere, and we have not had much trouble from those other European countries or from the United States. The much trouble comes from the Middle East. And it also appears that many of your member companies are also focused on the Middle East. Why the Middle East, and why the problems?
Well, number one, because the Middle East is a destination where there are jobs. As I indicated earlier, those economies are growing faster than any other part of the world. They have resources, natural resources, that they must exploit, and other industries. If you talk of the oil industry, if you talk of the service industry, if you talk of manufacturing, they're there. As you know, many people go to Dubai for shopping. So trading, services, hotels, holidays, there's a lot that is being done in those countries. Since the economies are growing, the requirement for workers is also growing. The manpower requirement grows all the time, increases all the time. So that's where they have policies in place. They have policies, they have laws in place designed to attract employees. They have departments under their ministries of labor for importing labor.
Those ones get licenses to import labor.
Yes.
You got license to export labor.
Exactly.
Do the two
meet?
Find a way of meeting or working together or even knowing each other?
We connect and work together. They also have agencies, recruitment agencies on the ground.
We are now talking about remittances from
abroad, from say, the Middle East and elsewhere.
From the Middle East. Let's look at the Middle East.
Yes. You find that Uganda now earns around $1.4 billion annually.
$1.4
billion annually. But you cannot compare it to India. India earns close to $80 billion.
From the same trade of externalization of labor to the Middle East?
Yes. No, from all over the world. We're talking about from all over the world. We're talking about remittances from all over the world. But from the Middle East alone...
Yeah, the Middle East. I'm interested in the Middle East.
Yes, Uganda now earns close to $550 million annually.
$550
million. And this figure is growing.
Is that real?
Yes. You can check it out from World Bank or Bank of Uganda, you'll get the figure.
$550 million
yes.
annually.
Yes, please.
From the Middle East.
Yes, please.
Could you then have statistics of how many Ugandans are involved in labor export in the Middle East? How do you have the statistics?
At the moment, we have approximately 150,000 Ugandans working in the Middle East.
No.
Yes.
150,000 Ugandans working in the Middle East?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes. They are in all over the Middle East.
With all this negative publicity we hear, with all this kind of cries that we get around, with all this trouble.
Yeah.
150,000 Ugandans.
Yes.
So the $550 million are from the 150 Ugandans there.
Yes, 1,000.
Is there room for more, or we are over?
Sure, we are taking every month. We take approximately 4,500 Ugandans to the Middle East.
Every month.
Every month.
4,500
people
to the Middle East.
Yes. Yes, please. Yes. So that therefore means
we are talking about people who are rightly placed.
Yes.
That you have processed their papers very well, that they find jobs there.
Yes.
4,500 Ugandans.
Yes. That is the
And government is aware of this.
Sure.
And has okayed it.
Government approves everything, every step. Every step, I've told you, from the job order to recruitment to processing, vetting, all that is approved by government, by the Ministry of Labour.
Perhaps let's look at eligibility.
Yes.
Do you have restrictions on who goes abroad for any type of work? Or, I am now 41. What type of job would I go and find in
As a professional, yes, you can be admitted. Professionals, they take up to 45. If you are a professional.
Professionals, 45.
If you're a professional in any field, actually, whether it is in sciences or
teacher, journalist.
Yes, a journalist, you can go up to 45 in a number of cases, a number of companies. Some companies stop at 40. But the other lower cadre, normally the age is between 21 to 35. That's number one requirement. Age.
Are you saying if somebody is 18 years, you can't take him to Middle East?
No, they wouldn't.
Are you sure?
The system...
Have they not crossed through Entebbe?
The visa issuance system does not allow anybody below 21. One can only do that if they put a wrong age on their passports. But otherwise, if the passport reads 18, one cannot get an employment visa. One can get a visitor's visa, or a student visa, or a religious visit visa. If somebody is going for Umrah or these pilgrims, then they may get those visas. But employment visa strictly is for people above the age of 21. Now that is one. Age is requirement number one. Two, one must be medically healthy. One must go through a series of medical tests to ensure that they are healthy. Yeah. Yes, in Uganda before they go. And they also repeat the tests when they arrive on the ground. So age is number one, requirement number one. Then health, requirement number two. Number three, one has to be able to communicate in English.
English.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Given the wrong perception, the wrong publicity around it, do you as industry players always meet to receive this kind of reports, look at the negative publicity, and maybe work to improve the image or even make us understand better how the industry runs?
Well, we're here. This is one of the reasons why we're here now discussing this. It is a process that has to continue. Sensitizing the population, sensitizing Ugandans about labor externalization.
But we're now talking about the industry players.
Yes.
You and your companies.
Yes.
How many companies do you say are involved in the labor export?
We are around 135 now.
135
companies, yes.
Are licensed in Uganda?
Yes, please.
To export labor?
Yes, please.
Are you able to monitor these companies?
Yes, we are.
Is the number not too big?
No, that's okay. That's all right. It's manageable. The regulator has no problem with that. And we recommend the Ministry of Labour for what they are doing, because a lot of improvements have been done. Streamlining has been done. Especially, I'd like to commend the Minister, Honorable Janat Barunzi Mukwaya, and the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Pius Bigirimana, and their technical teams, and the other ministers in the same sector. The streamlining has improved our sector tremendously because digitalization was initiated by the ministry to ensure that all the processes are done online, and with that there's more transparency, there's more efficiency, and the situation is much better than it was, say, 3-4 years ago.
Let's look at the benefit of the candidates.
Yes.
Do you get time to prepare them? For example, let them know where they are going and what they should expect. 2, help them know how to invest back here, or even help them to secure their remittance, because we have had so many cases of people who go abroad, do their work, send their money to relatives here, and when they come back, their remittances are abused. They're actually back to zero. There is nothing to find. Do you have a mechanism of helping them benefit from their sweat for the time they
are training institutions purposely handling labor externalization, training candidates, orienting them on the culture on the other side.
Is the training mandatory?
It's mandatory. It's mandatory.
How do you monitor that?
We are not the monitors of that. It's the Ministry of Labor. They are accredited by the regulator, Minister of Labor. Minister of Labor regulates us, the labor export companies, but it also regulates the training institutions. The syllabus is also designed by the Minister of Labor to ensure that when candidates are prepared, are mobilized before they go through those training institutions so that they find the situation different when they get there, because the situation is different. So they have to be acclimatized with the situation when they're still here. They need to be oriented on what to expect when they arrive in the destination countries.
Okay.
And this is being carried out by these private institutions, but also regulated and monitored by the Ministry of Labor. Now, there's no way one can travel these days without going through those institutions. So what they do is train them, take them through that, and prepare them, mental preparedness, prepare them for what to find in the destination countries.
Thank you. Let's have a short commercial break, and when we return, now we look at the bitter pill,
yes,
the honesty, the honesty in your companies. We are told that your companies almost benefit too much from these remittances of the candidates there than the candidates themselves. When we return, you'll address us on that. Let's have a short break.
That's fine.
Welcome back from the commercial break. We are right here at Hotel Africana, where we normally host our special shows. My guest is Mr. Andrew Tumwine Kameraho from the Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies. He's been taking us through the challenges in the industry, but also the positive growth in the industry. Andrew, let us look at the benefits of the persons working abroad. Like I told you, many people here think you go abroad, they tell you when you're going that you're going to earn 1 million, but in the actual sense, the company that takes you there, your companies, take off almost 70%. They're the ones that take the big share. Every month they are chopping off your money. So when you return here, you actually have nothing. You're back to zero.
Okay. All right, thank you. My response to that is that that information is not entirely correct. One, there are different categories of destinations. There are different destinations. You have the war zone as a destination. Here we're talking about Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. That's a war zone. The mechanism of effecting payment that applies there is different from the mechanism that applies in the safe zones or the peaceful zones.
Why would you in the first place send our people to a war zone? Why?
Well,
if you call it a war zone, you know it's a war zone. Why would you risk our people to a war zone?
As you may recall, that's where that was the cause, that was the initial cause of the formal establishment of labor externalization.
Oh.
Yes, this labor externalization was formally established after the Iraq war. As you may recall, there used to be a gentleman called Saddam Hussein in Iraq,
Yes.
who invaded Kuwait, and then he was forced out by the Americans out of Iraq, or rather out of Kuwait. But then they not only stopped there, they went ahead and removed him from power. Then after that, there was a need for manpower to support them, to give them support services, because they realized that the task ahead of them was bigger than they had earlier on anticipated.
Andrew, let's speak as Christians.
Yes.
Haven't people lost their money with some of these companies?
Let me explain, because we're talking about that group.
That group,
The
yeah,
war
the special
zones,
group,
okay?
the war zones.
But when it comes to the peaceful zones, where the majority of our people go, the workers on arrival are assisted to open their own accounts. And the companies that employ them, the employers, send the money or transfer the money directly from the company account to the individual's account.
You're talking about opening their own accounts in the countries of employment.
Yes, of employment. Like it is done in Uganda. I'm sure if you work for a company here in Uganda, your money will be deposited on your account.
Of course.
Yes. So that's what is done there. Their money is deposited on their individual accounts. They have the ATM cards. It is up to them now to manage.
We're talking about their money, like, for example, 900,000
Yes.
for a house girl,
Yes.
sent to her account. How much does the company that helped me go there chop off my money?
Nothing. 0%.
Yes.
I'm telling you because we're in the business. First of all, it's not possible because the account is opened in the name of the employee.
Yes.
And the money is sent to her account. She has her ATM, or he has his ATM. So how are you going to access it? Because I don't think there's a way you can access it.
I thought you agree with them that you are going to work, you'll be getting 900,000, 200,000 of which will be our money, and they have to remit it.
Impossible. When it comes to domestic workers, the service charge, the money that we spend on these people, is reimbursed by the employers, by the company that employs them, paid us directly in our accounts. So we don't charge these people any amount of money. Let me explain this. One, when it comes, because there are also categories here, even in the peaceful zones, you have domestic workers, or you have people going to work in Saudi Arabia. Then you have people who are working in the United Arab Emirates. Now, the people who are working in the United Arab Emirates, initially they pay some money to go and work there. Because as I told you earlier on, they are recruitment agencies in the United Arab Emirates. These recruitment agencies charge a fee, a placement fee, before they source the job. The jobs in the United Arab Emirates, in Qatar, in Bahrain, most of the time are got through recruitment agencies. These recruitment agencies are usually based in Dubai. Now, for each job they give you, in most cases they will put a fee, what they call a placement charge, placement fee. Because the companies, the employers don't work with us directly. We go through the middleman. Oh. The middleman is the recruitment agent in Dubai.
So I'll walk to company X and say I want a housemaid. That company contacts you and says, Andrew's company, send us this housemaid.
Now, let's first finish the category of men, for example.
Men.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You want security guards. You want drivers. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what we do, those companies will tell us the numbers they want. All the specifications, numbers, age, and other qualifications that they may require. So what we do, we're dealing with the recruitment agent. The recruitment agent gets the information from the final employer and then comes to bring the information to us. Then we do the selection process starts. Interviews can be conducted either physically. Some people fly over to Uganda here and interview people physically, or they do it done by Skype. Then the selection is done. When the selection is done, particularly for United Arab Emirates or Qatar or Bahrain, there's always a fee to be paid. First and foremost, the cost is determined by the charge that is charged by the recruitment agent in Dubai. If it's a security job, for example, if you talk the example of Abu Dhabi, who's working in Abu Dhabi, the salaries are higher, and therefore the placement fees are also higher. Because the security guard in Abu Dhabi earns $850.
So in brief,
Yeah.
the companies that want these employees abroad pay you a commission for sourcing them.
It now depends. I'm explaining. It depends. There are different categories. If it is a job, a security job, like I was telling you about Abu Dhabi, the companies don't pay us. No. Instead, we pay them
You pay for placement.
for placement. And the placement fee is charged on the candidate.
Do you have a complaint handling mechanism back here, as UAERA?
We have, through our monitoring system, if there is any complaint, it can be sent to us, the individual companies, or forwarded to our monitoring system, our monitoring mechanism, our monitoring team in Riyadh, and then it is handled.
Okay, well, give me a feel into the future. What's the future of this industry?
The future looks bright, really is bright, because other countries that did it before us have benefited a lot from it. I can give you the example of, say, Philippines. Wherever you travel, you find Filipinos working, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the US, all over the place. You go to Dubai, you wonder.
Why are the Filipinos more preferred than?
No, they started it. They have experience. They have been at it for more than 30 years. And even the government is more involved.
I'm afraid we have to end it here. I really want to thank you for your time. You have talked about UAERA, but perhaps we need to let people know where do I find you? What happens there?
UAERA is based at Hotel Africana Complex. The building is BMK House.
Or the new BMK House.
The new BMK House, which is the house that has offices. We're on the 4th floor, room 402. And then, of course, the other organ we have a reception center based in Entebbe for those Ugandans who return that may need help. We have a counselor, a professional counselor there. We have a nurse, and we handle them, and then we'll be able to integrate them back in society. And then we also have an annual labor symposium. The first one was held here at Hotel Africana, and we intend to hold this symposium every year.
Who are the participants in the symposium?
Symposium is open to many people. There are different stakeholders, government, the agencies of government, Minister of Labour, Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the security agencies, the administrators, the politicians, and other stakeholders. So those are key parts of UAERA that we need the population to know. The key organs of UAERA, we have the Secretariat, we have the Reception Center, then we have a program which we call the Symposium, the Labour Symposium, that will happen every year. Last year we held it in October. We intend to do the same again so that people can come, the public is welcome to participate and know more about labor externalization. Thank you, Mr. Simon Miyangalutaya, for giving me the opportunity to explain some issues with regard to labor externalization. I also thank members of UAERA who continue to help Ugandans get jobs out there in order to ameliorate the situation of our people in Uganda, especially those unemployed youth or even those that are underemployed who get less than what they put in. Right. So I thank you very much. I hope we shall have another opportunity again to continue sensitizing the people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This special edition of the Sidelines is brought to you by the Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies and our friends Hotel Africana. I want to thank our two sponsors. This is the Sidelines. You always have more of these shows. My name is Sir Simon Muyangalutaya. Wish you a nice weekend.